لا إله إلا الله.
Abdul Muttalib's Strange Dream. Chapter 1. From Where It All Began. Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, tried not to look back as he walked hurriedly away from the two most precious people in his life. He tried not to think of his beloved son Ismail, peace be upon him, or his dear wife Bibi Hajjah as he trudged heavily in the sandy desert of Mecca. Each step took him further away from his family. He, peace be upon him, tried not to think of the scorching sun, the barren land with no trees or fruit, the vast emptiness of the desert where he was leaving them.
Where are you going? Are you leaving us here? There is no one here,
cried Bibi Hajjah in anguish.
There is no food, nor water. It's a barren desert,
she implored. Her eyes widened in fear as she clutched her infant son and watched the figure of her husband recede in the depths of the desert.
Has Allah commanded you to leave?
She asked quietly. At this, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, turned and said, yes. Relief washed over the brave woman's soul.
Then it does not matter. Allah will keep us safe,
she replied with unwavering faith. And with a bag of dates and some water, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, surrendered them to the command of his Lord, Allah Almighty. He left his family at a location close to the holy Kaaba. He, peace be upon him, then prayed to Allah to keep them safe and to provide food and protection for them. As expected, the bag of dates and water were used up within a short time. With no water for herself or her baby, Bibi Hajjah ran across the hills of Safa and Marwa in search of food or a human who could help them. Finally, help came, but it was help of a unique kind. It was a miraculous help coming directly from Allah the Almighty. A spring of water gushed out right at the feet of baby Ismail as he lay on the sandy desert, kicking his feet. This was the ever-flowing well of Zamzam water, widely known and used until this day. Chapter 2. Sharing the Blessing. Did you see that bird? Questioned a man from the Jurham tribe, squinting his eyes at the glaring sun, gazing into the distance. How is that possible? This bird only flies near water, and there is no water here, mumbled a fellow tribesman, afraid to hope that there actually could be water. Driven by thirst and need, the people of Jurham sent their men to find out. As the tribe reached the source of water with hopeful anticipation, they were surprised to see a woman and a baby there. It was Bibi Hajjah and Ismail, peace be upon him. May we settle at your dwelling? Inquired a member of the Jurham tribe, hopeful to be given permission.
Yes, but the rights of the water stay with me,
Bibi Hajjah offered wisely. Chapter 3. The Jurhamites Become Notorious. Over the years, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, would visit his family where he had left them. Allah commanded him to rebuild the pillars of the Kaaba with Ismail, peace be upon him. People flocked to Mecca to offer pilgrimage, and the Zamzam well continued to provide a never-ending supply of holy water to everyone. Years later, when Ismail, peace be upon him, passed away, the rulership of Mecca fell into the hands of the Jurhamites. Instead of becoming gracious rulers, they became notorious and more unjust with each passing day. They even brought idols to worship and placed them in the Kaaba. The Meccans decided that the Jurham tribe had to be driven away no matter what. When the Jurhamites got to know of the Meccans conspiring against them, they started making plans of their own. At the sight of the Zamzam water, a group of men frantically stowed swords, armors, and idols made of gold in the well. Every now and then they would turn back to check if someone was coming. Hurry, the Meccans are approaching, hissed a Jurhamite, urging his gang to pick up speed with their evil antics. "Quick, keep filling the well up with stones," another one enticed. "If we can't have Zamzam, no one can," sneered a nasty-looking Juramite man. Eventually, the selfish and evil-minded Juramites were driven out of Makkah. But with them, they took the secret to the location of the gift of Allah, the Zamzam water. Chapter 4: The Rediscovery. Generations grew from Ibrahim, peace be upon him, and they settled themselves in Makkah. They travelled to places like Syria and Yemen for trade and business. Just like the people of Juram, the descendants continued to bring back idols and place them in the Kaaba. Pilgrimage to the Kaaba continued, but the air of Makkah had been polluted by idolatry practices. Not only would they worship the idols, they would also offer sacrifices to make them happy. They thought this was the way to get their prayers answered. One of the descendants of Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was a man named Hashim, belonging to a tribe called the Quraysh. He was responsible for arranging food and water for the pilgrims. After Hashim died, Allah placed this privilege in the hands of Hashim's son, Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib was held in high esteem as he took over the prestigious duty, just like his forefathers. By this time, the well of Zamzam had been covered up by the evil Juram tribesmen. People had completely forgotten about the existence of the miraculous blessing. The Quraysh had to dig up a number of wells to provide water to the pilgrims. It was a grave misfortune that none of the wells were Zamzam, the holy gift of Allah, the ultimate blessing. But Allah had decreed something else, that one day someone special would rediscover it.
What happens next? To listen to the rest of the story, subscribe at www.luckmay.com for $10 per month and unlock more videos of this story and much more. Link given in the description below.